The Polestar 2 has been popular in the UK and it's not hard to see why. Now, with a bigger battery and a longer range of up to 406 miles, it looks even better than ever. Or to be a bit more literal about it, it looks pretty much the same as it did before, but that's no bad thing. The Polestar 2's always looked fabulous, I think. And Polestar don't really do facelifts anyway, so they say. They just do updates. There have been 15 over-the-air software updates for the Polestar since it was launched, keeping it all nice and fresh and up to date. And there have been some changes to the styling, chiefly this bit here. So it's got a new grille, and this is now called the Smart Zone, which does sound a bit like it's out of the Crystal Maze, doesn't it? But actually it's just a blank sort of plate on the front of the car to hide your cameras. And you've got this one, which clearly Polestar decided to make a feature of. So it's very obvious. And here they've even got mid-range radar, in case you missed the fact that there's a big old camera right in the middle there. So that did make me chuckle. I thought that was quite good. But there you go. If you can't hide it, make a feature of it. And I still think, like I said, the Polestar 2 looks fabulous. More importantly, you've got that 82 kilowatt hour battery, bringing one of the longest range cars that you can get now. It's really impressive on that front. Electric motors now on the rear wheels, so there are some really significant changes to the Polestar 2 this year. And of course, if you do want more power than you get in this rear wheel drive one, you can get a super powerful four-wheel drive to take on the ever powerful Tesla Model 3 performance. Inside there are hardly any changes, so you still get a minimalist finish with animal-free materials, plus the big screen with inbuilt Google Maps and voice control, and you get Apple CarPlay even if you do have to plug your phone in to make that work. The rear seats and boot space remain the same too, while charging speeds are now up to 205 kilowatts, so that you can still get a 10 to 80% charge in 30 minutes. I really like the Polestar 2. I've always really liked the Polestar 2. I mean, you can see why. It looks fantastic. I really like the Google stuff on the inbuilt system. It's just fabulous. I love the way that it shows you exactly the percentage of battery that you're going to have when you reach your destination. I think that's really clever, and it's really accurate too, I've always found, so I really enjoy that about it. The general sort of ambience of this car, I like everything about it, the very techie, clean feel to it. It's like if Apple did cars, this is probably what it would be like, right? And that's great. And the way it drives is very much like that too, very kind of planted, very neutral, very easy to drive, very rapid if you want it to be. Even with this rear-wheel drive car, which is, you know, the slowest of it, you're still talking about 6.2 seconds to 60, so you get a proper punch of performance if you want it. You just don't need it to be faster than this. You know, as I've said, you can get the faster one if you want it to be with a four-wheel drive. That's all fine. I think this is more than powerful enough, especially for UK roads and that kind of thing. So the steering, the way it goes down the road, even the way that you've got all your sort of driver assist stuff and your modes in the screen here. So you've got steering feel, light, standard and firm. I like it in standard, that's fine. You can even choose whether the car creeps from a standstill or not, all of that. One pedal drive, that's all very manageable in your screen there. And it's all fairly intuitive. The way the Polestar 2 drives is just absolutely fine. Maybe it's not, you know, really thrilling, but it's good, and it is good fun on the right road too. But, and there is a big but here, the ride comfort on this car, I think, is a deal breaker. It's fine out here on this country road, to be honest, but I've also been driving this around town quite a lot this week. And yes, granted, you know, the roads around our towns are grottier and more potholed than ever. But on 20-inch wheels that this test car is on, it's really quite poor. It's not just the fact that it's firm, but it's really clunky. You can really feel the sort of wheel wobble you get as the sort of rebound from a pothole, and you can hear the suspension working, and it just feels, to be honest, cheap and quite wooden sort of ride comfort, and I find it really unpleasant to drive around town for that reason. And I don't say that lightly, because I really like this car. And I just wish that Polestar would do better, because the Volvo XC40 electric that this car is based on, it has the same platform, that's not a problem. That rides actually quite well. So I know that Polestar can do better, and I don't know why they haven't. And it's a real frustration with this car, because everything else about the two I really like, including the way it drives. And now with this range, well, you know, there's so much going for it. It's just that one big problem. Real-world range is decent in the Polestar. In summer temperatures and over varied roads, including a lot of motorway and faster country roads, we're still seeing well over 340 miles to a charge. Expect that to drop to more like 280 to 300 miles in winter. I really want to say that the Polestar 2 is the best in its class, because I really like this car. As I said, I like everything about it, the sort of Scandi, techie, clean feel of it. It's really cool. It just feels like it's a bit different to everything else, and I like what Polestar is trying to do. But I can't say that because even though it's quite well priced, £45,000 and up for the Polestar 2, up to about sort of mid-50s for your top spec high performance jobby. So prices are good, monthly costs are good, performance and the range, great, all of that is really good. But that ride, I just can't really kind of come to terms with it. I don't know that I would recommend it to people because of that. So I do find that really disappointing. It's such a kind of huge issue with the car. And funnily enough, I drove the Polestar 2 previously when it was on Olin dampers, which is a massive sort of overkill for a family car. You normally get those on race cars or rally raid cars and this kind of thing. And I thought that was a bit mad, and they were a bit firm too. But having now driven this on the standard suspension, I think they were the better option. So there you have it. The Polestar 2, it's great apart from the ride. So do you know what? With the Tesla Model 3 out there, the benefits of that are very obvious, but my money in this class, despite it being the more expensive option, would go on the BMW i4. Don't forget to head to CarGurus.co.uk for a whole host of fantastic used cars, including loads of electric cars, and while we've got you, please do like the video, subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any of our videos.